Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. Today we're going to be going back in time to 2012 and we're going to make two different types of flattening jigs. With all of the new bows that I've been making lately, I've been getting a lot of questions on how to make a flattening jig. And while the flattening jigs in my videos look a little different from these, the basic ideas are the same. First up, we're going to be doing a simple flattening jig that just uses fixed blocks as spacers. And then we're going to do something like this. My favorite type of jig, an adjustable flattening jig. And just this board with these spacers on it. And you can make just about any PVC pipe bow. So it's really versatile. And like I said, one of my favorites. So here we go. Let's get started. Hey everybody. I wanted to show you what I use for flattening bow limbs. So this is just a simple flattening jig. It's basically just a 1x4 pine board, and you want to cut it 4 feet long because that'll give you the taper that you want. And the only thing special about this board is that I've got two spacers glued on here. These are each 3/4 of an inch tall, and so this will be good for bows using 1 inch diameter pipe. And then I've also got these little 1/4 inch spacers that I have heat glue on, and I just glue those on if I'm doing 1 inch pipe. So basically what you're trying to do is you start your taper off about 1/4 of an inch under the outer diameter of the pipe, because 3/4 inch pipe is actually about 1 inch in diameter on the outside, and 1 inch pipe is about 1 1/4 inches. So that's what I do. And then to use this thing, all you do is, when you've heated up your pipe, you can either place this on top of the pipe and then apply pressure. I like to kneel or stand on it. Another thing you could do is you could heat the pipe up and then you could clamp this to a table. So it's just a really simple way to do it. I like to clamp against a really long flat surface because I like getting a one-way taper on my handle. Whereas if you were to squish this between two boards, you end up getting a two-way taper on the handle. And that's fine, but I just like the way this looks. But yeah, so this is just, again, a 1x4 pine board, 4 feet long. So yeah, try it out, have fun. Thanks for watching my video. Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a slightly different type of flattening jig. This one is an adjustable flattening jig. And the way this works is that by changing the positions of these nuts, you can actually lengthen or shorten this bowl. That way you can really adjust the thickness of your limbs so that you can kind of, make fine tuning on your thickness, or you can also, basically the idea behind this is you can go from using 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch to 1 inch pipe without making a new flattening jig or figuring something else out. So what you're going to need for this is a 3-foot board. Now I'm using a 2x4, and I suggest that for this build use a 2x4. Mine came in 8-foot length, so I'm going to be using this as the base. You don't have to do anything. Once you've cut these two boards, you don't have to do anything to this. So that rather than resting it on a floor or flat surface, you're going to rest your heated pipe on this and then flatten with the shorter board. Now the shorter board, it doesn't have to be 4 feet in this case, because if your bow limb is shorter, it'll hang over the edge of the longer board. Whereas if you're using a thinner board, like the other flattening jig I show you, The 4 feet is so that the actual board will flex. You want it to flex and bend a little bit. This way, you can get the same angles without that flex. So that's that. So here's the bottom board. So for me, this is 5 feet long. You want it to be about as long as the longest bow you're going to make, just so you have full support. Again, here's the 3-foot board. And what you want to do on this board is you want to mark ½ inch from the end and the side. And we're going to be drilling our hole right on the inside of that. So, there's that. You're going to need a 3/8 inch drill bit for drilling your holes. You're going to need 2 3/8 inch bolts. These are 3.5 inches long. You're going to need 2 3/8 inch washers and 2 3/8 inch nuts. You could either use hex nuts or 1 hex nut and a wing nut. This will allow you to hand tighten, without the need for a wrench or anything. Alright, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to drill the holes into this. Alright, so here's the end of the board. Basically, you just want to drill right on the inside. You don't want to go too far in, or this is going to become too small for 1-inch pipes. I'm going to get as close to that, but you don't want to go beyond that mark. It's really simple. Alright, there it is. So you've got these 2 holes. You just want to make sure that the bolts will fit easily. Okay, so once you've gotten the holes drilled, what you want to do is put it all together. So you want to take your hex nut and thread it onto the bolt. There you go. Put your first washer down. You want to put it through your board. Take your second washer, place that there, and then you take the wing nut, you tighten it up, and there you go. So here's your spacer block. And what you can do is that if you're changing the type of pipe, you can lengthen it like this. So it's fully adjustable. Alright, so I'm going to set the other side up, and I'm just going to briefly show you kind of how it works. Alright, adjusting this for different bows is fairly straightforward. So here you can see they're obviously not for this pipe. What you want to do with this type of flattening jig is actually, this should be the same height as your pipe, because this is going near the center of the pipe and it'll all work out. So what you do is you loosen up the wing nuts at the bottom and just push these up. And then what you do is you tighten up the wing nut. You just want to make sure that the end of the bolt lines up with your PVC pipe. Then you take the hex nut and you tighten it down. See that? You go ahead and you do the same to the other side. Tighten it up. So there you go. So now it's ready to go. So when you're ready to flatten, you just put your, well actually you do it the other way, this would go on top. But there you go. So now it's all set up, and if you need to change the height, then you do the same thing. So if you can see here, I've got one set up for a 3/4 inch pipe, and this is a 1 inch pipe. So here we go. And this particular jig is good up to 1 inch pipes. If you want it bigger, then you should start with a 2x6, so you have a little more space, and then you can work with even larger pipes. But this is about as large a pipe as you really need to work with, unless you're going for an 80-pound longbow. This is pretty straightforward. When you're using this, you have your base flattening board here. So you would place your hot PVC pipe, where you need it to be, line everything up, and then you take your flattening jig, place it down, and then press. And so with this type of jig setup, you can either put body weight on here. It takes about, if your PVC pipe is properly heated, it should only take about 50 to 60 pounds of pressure to get it to flatten. Otherwise, you might want to use clamps. So either screw type clamps or compression type clamps. That way you can just clamp this together and just let it sit. So here it is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you'd like to see more, be sure to check out the channel for more videos like this. And before I go, thank you to everyone who's supporting the channel through Patreon, purchasing my books, and my merchandise on Teespring. So I'll put links in the description below to those. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.